Right, welcome everybody. Today we're going to be learning about building a funnel in a nutshell. And building funnels is all about sales. A funnel is generally called a sales funnel, to be fair, and it's all about understanding the process of how you're going to get your customer from one stage to another. And a funnel, especially in online selling, even offline selling, is really, really key. It just means that you can grow a predictable business and have predictable sales without wandering in the dark. So some of you know who I am. My name is Natalia Nicholson. And Women in Digital Business is a community that is for women. There are men that turn up on this webinar, so don't feel isolated. But it's primarily a community for women in business where we're in the digital age, and women in the digital age are starting businesses at the fastest rate, and we're actually the least supported. Even when it comes to capital venturers, they will invest in men in a heartbeat over us. I think it's something like out of every pound, 1 pence is donated to women businesses, and if you put underrepresented groups into that, well, guess what? It shrinks even more. Sorry, I'm just letting people in. Usually I have someone to help me, but they weren't well today, so I'll stop in and out as I let people in to a point, because obviously we are 10 minutes, coming up to 10 minutes in now. So for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Natalia Nicholson. So I don't really want to do the long bio thing, so I'm just going to kind of skip over it. But I did a lot of work with Google Digital Garage, where we worked with many businesses to help upskill them. We are in the digital and information age, and all businesses, whether it's digital marketing or it's figuring out an innovative way on how to market your business or make it more seamless or more efficient, the digital age is here to stay. And actually, we all have to get used to how can we make our businesses run more efficiently. Okay, I do apologize with the swapping in and out. I didn't really need to. There we go, do that. Next time I got trigger happy there. So I've been around for a while. I've got my own businesses, so I know the pains. I know what it feels like to have that feeling of I want to get ahead, I want to scale, I just want to make my business viable, I just want to pay myself. I've been through all those emotions, and I know exactly what it's like, because I have built many businesses. Some I've sold, some are still going, some I fell miserably at in the beginning of my journey. And that's really how Women in Digital Business was born. So I'm also the founder of an e-commerce store, and there's a lot that I do. I do a lot of work with Unremarkable, which is a Google initiative, which is all about how to brand yourself, how to speak up for yourself, and if you're from an underrepresented background. I've been featured in numerous places. I've done work with BT, where teaching people how to make apps to start a digital business. I've been around for a while. And it wasn't always like this. I think my success really came from having a growth strategy. I founded multiple businesses, but I made some really costly mistakes. And the biggest thing I struggled to do was to get sales and build a sales funnel that converted. And that's really what we're going to be looking at today. And just be careful of those half-built bridges. Shiny object syndrome is real for entrepreneurs. So what you'll find is you'll have an idea, and that idea will go to another idea. That you start a business, you don't see the results, then you think, oh, I'll team up with someone else, or actually I want to do this, I'm going to start it. Or you start marketing and you think, oh, I'm going to do a webinar as a lead magnet. Then all of a sudden you feel like, oh, I'm going to write a book. Then you're on Instagram, you're doing reels, you're doing videos, and it just keeps going, but you're never finishing everything. All you're ever doing is creating these half-built bridges. So being a part of the Women in Digital Business community is to get you to come up with a plan that is realistic, is very, very specific, takes you out from wandering in the dark, and makes you feel comfortable and confident to say, this is a plan that's going to get me to that 6-7 figure business, and make sure that you actually believe it. But to believe it, you'll have a plan that you'll feel so confident, you'll think, yeah, I'm going to get there. And it makes the world of difference. And that's how, if you want me to be honest with you, I started to really scale my business. Sorry, I'm just letting one more person in. So with that, we're going to get started and jump straight into the training. Oh, sorry, guys, I'm jumping all over the place, pressing buttons. There we go, present. There we go. So here's what we're going to cover today. We're going to look at what is a marketing funnel, and we're going to look at 8 steps to creating your own funnel. Before I get a whole load of interruptions, before I really jump into this, tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to our screen. I'm going to admit. And have I got anybody here? I actually want to make you a co-host. If you can let people. Linda, sorry. Do you mind if I'm really cheeky and if I set you as a co-host, if someone, that admit button comes up on your screen, you just say allow and it lets them in? Is that okay?
Yeah, of course it is.
Oh, thank you. You are an absolute lifesaver. I think everybody on the call would agree for that. So let's look for you in the list. Let's hope I can know how to. So Here we go, Linda. Add as a co-host. Brilliant. Now I don't have to keep coming back. That is absolutely brilliant. Right, so let's present. So what are we going to learn today? So today we're going to look at what is a marketing funnel. I want you to leave today's session being really clear about what a marketing funnel is. So whether you want to call this a marketing funnel, a sales funnel, a customer journey, a customer value journey, it's hand in hand. They're all the same thing, but it's a funnel. And I'm going to take you through the 8 steps on how you create your own funnel. So part 1, what is actually a marketing funnel? So according to the legendary marketeer J. Abraham's strategy on business growth, there are only 3 ways you can grow a business. And to grow your business is to increase the number of customers. So if you haven't got any, it's to increase it to some. If you've got some, it's about figuring out how do I double that? How do I increase my customers? Which is usually through marketing and advertising and sales. How do I increase the average transaction value per customers? Companies have gotten very smart nowadays on really increasing the average transaction value per customer, meaning what they're doing is maybe like somewhere like Amazon, you see things like add-ons that you can buy with the products that you've chosen, which means it's making you spend more money. You know, even the other day I had to order a wig for my aunt. Not only did I order the wig online, but I then ordered the wig stand, and then I then ordered the stocking head that you have to put under the wig for her. So that increased the transaction value just by them having those add-ons and upselling me. Okay, fast food does this really good. Would you like to, you know, make that a big meal for an extra £1, or I was about to say 30p, but that was a long time ago with the way inflation is. But it's increasing the average transaction value, increasing the number of transactions per customer. How many of us have seen the growth of subscription businesses? So if you haven't heard of J. Abraham, or you haven't read any of his books, or I suggest that you do, and especially if you're in a situation where you don't have a big marketing budget. One of these books is, I have it sitting on my desk all the time. So one of these books is Getting Everything You Can Out of All You've Got. It's a really great book to actually show you that, you know, if you just start thinking about a funnel and thinking about the assets that you've got, you don't need to spend more. You can use what you've got, but use it to either increase customers, increase the average transaction value per customer, or the number of transactions per customer, like a subscription model. So what is a funnel? A marketing funnel is the intentional path you take your prospect through as they go from an unaware prospect to a happy customer. So it's the process that you are going to map out very, very intentionally of how you're going to make the customer completely aware of you. They've never heard of you before. And what are the steps that you want to take them through to build trust up, to get them to buy from you and actually be really, really happy, tell everyone, so then you get referrals. And you want to make sure that that process is automated so it happens again and again and again. And that, in essence, is what a funnel is. Okay, so part 2, 8 steps to build your next funnel. So these are the 8 essential steps that you're going to need to create a stellar funnel, a good sales funnel, one that no one can't. You don't want a funnel that's got leaks in it, holes in it, because you'll just be pouring money out left, right, and center. So the 8 steps that we want to look at is determine your product and the market fit. I say this because this is something a lot of small businesses, sometimes there's a big disconnect. Before you start even creating a funnel, before you even think about doing any ads, before you even think about doing any form of marketing, you should always be very, very clear on who is my customer and what are my customer segments. Sometimes as small businesses growing, we feel like we need to target everyone. And we feel like if we just start with one segment, it means that we're forgetting about the other segments. That is definitely not the case. You start with one segment because that way you can really connect with that audience. you can make sure all your marketing goes out is to them, so they feel like they're wanted, they feel like an authentic relationship is being built. And then once you've monetized that, then you go to the next, then you go to the next, and that's when your business scales. So don't feel like because you're niching, it means that you're not tapping into other markets, because actually with marketing and content assets, you can't be everything to everyone. So you have to be clear about who your audience is, and you also have to be crystal clear on the product and the market fit. Your product and service should solve a clear problem in your audience's life. Okay, so they are able to have a need for you, which makes selling a lot more easier now. So determine your product and market fit. Choose a traffic source. Traffic can come from all different areas. Generally, we've got something called paid traffic, which could be Google Ads, social media marketing. We've then got borrowed traffic, which could be doing a joint venture or going into other people's communities and doing joint ventures, bringing them back into your own community, or just going into communities and having sincere conversations with people to bring them into your own community. Then you've got own traffic, which is the best traffic source to have, which is leads that you would have collected in your email CRM, meaning you can contact these people again and again and again. Okay, we're going to look at offering a lead magnet. So putting something together that's an irresistible value that your customer can sign up for. Generally, it's something for free. And then you've collected their details, a bit like asking someone for their number, meaning you can now market to them again and again and again. We're going to look at what are you offering them? What's your core offer of, that you're going to offer your customer? And what's the entry point offer? Okay, we're going to look at how do you maximize the profit? We're going to look at building you a landing page, and then we're going to look at creating a return path. So these are the core steps. So step one is to determine the product market fit. So you need to know your customer, like I said, in order to effectively market to them. So start by asking these questions to better understand your product market fit. Who is my ideal customer? So the traditional marketing elements, like what are their demographics in terms of age, gender, interests, their core values, their day-to-day lifestyle, etc. Who are they? What are my customers' frustration and pain points? And this is where the psychometrics really start to come into play. What are the problems my customer faces every day? What's getting in the way of their success? Really think about your product and the service that you are offering, and really think about what problem does it solve in my customer's life? And actually, if they didn't have my product or service, what's their frustrations? What's their pain points? And then it's looking at what is my customer's desired after state. What I mean by that is once you've established frustrations and pain points, how would you get rid of those frustration and pain points with the product or service that you're offering? So what does it make them look like? So if you were selling a diet product, let's say you were selling something like Slim Fast, the frustration and pain points could be, constantly falling off the wagon when it comes to diets because you don't have time to cook healthy food. Your time's really poor. Your frustration could be you're just not losing weight to feel like the person that you want to be, and you feel like it's stopping you from meeting someone or having the career that you want. So the after state of that would be the fact that you now feel sexy, you now feel like you can meet someone, you now feel like you've got a better opinion of yourself, you now feel like you can get that perfect job because losing weight's giving you confidence. So that's what I mean by the after state. So think about, how does my product help transition customers away from their problems and towards their success in respects to what you do? And some people sometimes have problems actually visualizing this. What I mean by that is that it's really funny. For women in digital business, I found it really easy because it's a service, where for my e-commerce business, it took me much longer to conceptualize, does that make sense, what someone's problem is. I mean, my hero product are candles. So you just don't think someone's problem is big enough, and you think, well, how can a candle take them towards success? You've really got to put your mind into the mind of your customer. So even for my candle business, their problem is they love luxury candles, but they've all got paraffin in them because I sell soy wax candles. They help you to relax. They set a great mood. They de-stress you at the end of the day, and they make my customers feel like they can come down for a day. These are really busy, career-driven people, or these are people that have gone through a life-changing a life-changing ordeal, whether it could be an operation. They now want to live more healthily and vegan-wise, and the candles are that. So I had to really dig deep into understanding who my customer is. And I'm telling you, that's what made that business successful. I wasn't doing this product market fit. So think about this, do this exercise, okay? We do a like boot camp where we will ask a series of questions that really puts you in the mind and gets you to create a document that you are really crystal clear on who your customer segments are. So next stage, step number 2 is choose a traffic source. So now that you've achieved the product market fit, your next step is to figure out how to reach that market and get them to your website, or get them to where it is your customer is going to be making some type of purchase or leaving their details, depending on what the objective and goal is. So nobody can have a traffic problem with your sales funnel, because the reality is you might have an email marketing list. Some of that list might be just in your phone. It needs to be transferred into an Excel spreadsheet and uploaded into a CRM. Okay, so you can now send emails out. So this is what I was talking about with own traffic. These are people or customers or potential customers that you know and you have their details. So email marketing is own traffic. You can pay for traffic, so social advertising, so advertising on social media sites like Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Search and display advertising, so, you know, Google Ads, Bing, Yahoo, the list goes on. Content marketing, creating content, so whether that's blogging for someone or an organization and your content's being published, producing content on social media to create your own brand authority and following. So very much organic. And then you've got organic social media, and then you've got search engine optimization. So these are your different traffic sources. So like I said, you've got paid, you've got borrowed. So borrowed could be organic social media, where you're going into Facebook and you're going into groups and communities that have got a similar audience to your own, and you start having conversations with people to bring them into your own community. It could be you've got a platform that you're concentrating on, you know, you're using hashtags, you're following people, they're following back. That's you creating traffic. But be careful, you don't want no more than 3 traffic sources, else you will lose the plot and you will need a lot more resource to help you. And budgets are limited at this stage. So there are a ton of different places to find or buy traffic, but let's just keep things in mind when we are choosing traffic sources. So choose a traffic source that is best placed to reach your customer. What do I mean by that? Chances are your customers play favorites. So do your research and see what platforms your customers are on the most. Like, I do Facebook advertising, but the irony is I don't hang out on Facebook. The platform that I go and check in most of the time is actually LinkedIn. Okay, but I get for our community most of my leads from Facebook. Master one traffic source before you decide to use another. And this is me, where I've mastered Facebook, I tend to stick to that. I'm also mastered YouTube as well. But buying traffic is about getting people into your funnel. Jumping around to a bunch of different sources will only take longer to actually acquire any customers, because data is king in this digital world. If you stick with one master traffic source and you get to know it and you build the data up, if your funnel's not working, the data will tell you why. You know, the minute you start switching, changing, it becomes confusing. Have you ever had a problem before and you start taking, I don't know, like I've known people that will take things to make their nails grow, or, you know, their hair, but they're doing so many different things, they can't actually track what's working from what's not. And in this day and age, you don't have to make assumptions anymore about your business. If you're doing paid advertising, you have got data that's going to tell you what's going right and what's going wrong that you can use. Okay, so step 3 is all about creating a lead magnet. So now that you've decided on your traffic source or traffic sources, but no more than 3, and on the paid one, please just 1, it's time to start increasing the number of customers you have. So a lead magnet is an irresistible bribe, better term, that gives a specific chunk of value to a prospect in exchange for their contact information, like an email address. I mean, if you can get a cell number, a mobile number, absolutely brilliant, because people look at their phones and respond. A lot of people sometimes say email's dead, but it's not. It's a volume game with emails. People don't check their emails as much as they do. You've got the risk of going into spam. There's a whole host of things, but it's a numbers game. The more of the bigger list that you have, the more you're going to convert with that list. So it definitely does work. You've also got things like Messenger. Messengers was a really difficult app to collect leads on because of GDPR, but we're starting to see a lot of things relaxing around that. So a lead magnet is something you are going to give away to someone to specifically collect their details so you can keep marketing to them. So a lead magnet is almost like saying, let's go out for dinner. You know, in your sales funnel, your job as a business owner and a marketeer is to build relationships and build trust. So as you build trust, it makes your prospect, your potential customer, feel comfortable and trusted to move to the next step of a journey that you have mapped out for them. Okay, just wandering around in the dark and saying, you know, I'm just going to do AdWords and not putting the strategy behind it is a dangerous game. You will just start hemorrhaging money with marketing and you won't get the return on investment or the results that you need. So please keep this in mind when you're creating your own. So make sure your lead magnet provides a quick win. You want your customer to find tremendous value in the content that you provided. So you might have a fashion business, and for your fashion business, I don't know, you might create a lead of a guide of, you know, let's say you sell skirts only, for example, and you might offer a guide of what's the best skirt for you depending on your shape. So someone might enter into a quiz to go answer a whole load of questions. At the end of it, it tells them, you know, what skirts are the best fit for them. So I don't know, high belly fat. Okay, I'm putting it out of the air, but you can see where this is going. It might not be a quiz. It could be something downloadable. But the point is they're signing up for something and they're opting in and giving their email address. So now you get to keep selling to them. Not every time that you're selling is somebody willing to buy. So by collecting their email address and having that lead means that you can keep saying, I'm here, I'm here. Make sure it's specific. In everything I do, I always use SMART goals. If you don't know what they are, go and look them up. Like in everything you do, you have to ask yourself, am I being specific? Is it being measured? Is it actually attainable? Is it actually even realistic? And can I do it in the time span? And generally, when you answer all those questions, it makes for a great framework. So make sure your lead magnet is specific. It's solving a specific offer for a specific section of the marketing, ensures that the leads you generate are good quality, they're high quality. And what a good CRM system does is that if you've got different segments of an audience, you can put lists together for different segments. So it means when you are communicating to your customer, it's very personal because you understand the segment that you're communicating to. So when I keep using the word segment, you might be targeting mums, but you might have one segment for mums who have got children at home and they're not in school yet. You might have another segment for working mums. Makes sense? And you might have different offers, and specifically when you're sending anything out, you're speaking to them in a tone and an authority that understands who they are and understands what their pains and challenges are. So when you're in the beginning of your journey and you're launching, to have loads of different a big audience and have to create all those segments, each segment almost needs its own funnel. That's why I'm saying start with one niche, one customer segment, monetize it, then go to the next, then go to the next. At that point, your business is validated, and that's when you're ready to scale. Step 4, offer an entry point offer. So what is an entry point offer? So you've got a lead. Now it's time to turn them into a customer. The entry point offer is an irresistible, super low ticket offer. So something usually between $1 and $20. And that gets your customers foot in the door with a purchase. Now, everybody's business is different. So this is just a general rule of thumb. This does not mean everybody's got to follow it, because you might have a really high ticket item that actually your entry point offer is, you know, something under 500. It all depends on the products and service you're selling. But generally speaking, it's usually between $1 and $20. It just needs to be something that's a no-brainer. It needs to be something that makes your customer feel like, I'll take my credit or debit card out of my pocket for that. I haven't really got much to lose, and it's an opportunity for you to really showcase. So there are tons of different types of entry point offers. It could be physical products, it could be books, it could be steeply discounted initial services, it could be a webinar. There's so many different things, and you within other people's marketing have probably seen a number of entry point offers. But they could be, it could be anything really. It depends on your business model. So they are irresistible because of the low cost. So even lower than break even in some cases. So some businesses will take a loss at this entry point offer, because once you've got a customer who's taken out their credit and debit card to pay, now that you've broken down that trust barrier, they're more inclined to keep buying from you again and again and again and go through that upsell and ascension ladder. So by starting off generous and providing immense value, it sets the relationship with the customer off on the right foot, and it just creates that trust. Yeah, at this point, this is like the going out for dinner with someone if you met someone. So there's loads of different types of offers depending on your business model. So step 5, you really want to offer a core product. Okay, so as long as you over deliver and provide immense value with your lead magnet and your entry point offer, your customer will be highly interested in purchasing your core offer. So now it's time to present your core offer. Okay, so you don't have to always keep the profits. What you can do when you've got a core offer is say a certain percentage of your core offer you're going to reinvest back into sales, into your traffic purchases, which will allow you to buy more traffic, which means more customers down the line. For some businesses will actually use the entry point offer as just their straight marketing budget. Any profit that comes into that is liquidated marketing, and it just gets invested straight back into the business again. So you've got that constant flow of leads coming into your funnel. But it can also be done with the core offer. But your core offer is the main thing that you sell. Okay, so your core offer should still be valuable. But if you've already over delivered with your initial offers, make sure your core offer delivers as well, if not better. Because one of the mistakes that some businesses make is they're so great to you in the beginning. It's a bit like car insurance, isn't it? You'll go and get a quote and it'd be absolutely amazing. Then when your quote expires, for some strange unknown reason, the following year, the premium is so much more higher. You have to make sure that you're giving value even at the core offer, else it will make someone feel like, oh, so now you've got me and I've paid more. You know, it's not the same type of service that you're offering. So core offer should still be valuable, but at the same time, I'm not suggesting you take a loss. But your core offer is the main thing, the bread and butter of your business, of what you actually sell. So step 6 is offering the profit maximizer. So the profit maximizer are high price purchase. This is your high ticket. And if you haven't got one and you're thinking, I haven't got an entry point, this is where you might start thinking about, okay, what product am I offering and what are the different tiers? So the SaaS market, the software market, I don't know why it's gone completely out of my head, but anyway, you know what I mean. So companies like Canva, Slack, even Google's G Suite. These are all software companies, software as services. Put it out there. These are all services that actually their business models are very clear. There's different packages. So you might have a freemium version, then you might have a gold package, then you might have a bronze, and each one's got different benefits. So software CRMs, MailChimp, they do this really, really well in terms of profit maximizers. So the core offer might be that one that sits in the middle that always says best value. The lead magnet is the free version. So they are great examples. Then you've always got a top enterprise package, which is like, you know, the high cost item. So all of these offers are just different ways of how you can increase the customer experience and the lifetime value and the lifetime value in the cycle of your actual customer. So product maximizer in essence is upselling to your high ticket. And if you don't have a high ticket, you might think, what does that look like? Is there a service that I can add on to my core offering that makes it high end? And again, if you're wondering what is that, the answer is always with the customer, always with the customer. Okay, so forms of a profit maximizer are, you know, immediate sales. Do you want fries with that? That's your immediate upsell when you're going to McDonald's or you're going to Burger King. Cross sales are frequently bought together items or suggestions. Sorry, where do we get that from? Amazon. So frequently items bought together, it's cross-selling. Like I said, the wig stand and the stocking. Premium subscriptions, people will pay for extra perks or early access without a shadow of a doubt. I love going to the theatre. I love going to see the ballet. I've got loads of premium subscriptions just so I can get early bird tickets for events and things that I know that will sell out really, really quickly. So now it's time to create your landing page. So you've got all your offers in order. Now it's time to make a place for customers to learn all about them. How does a customer go from one stage to the next of this sales funnel? And your website is like your brand. You've got everything on there. So now you've diluted their attention and it's going to be so overwhelming, and your website has everything there. A sales funnel is very, very targeted. Okay, so you need to have a place that all your offers are on, that your customer can go to, and it feels like it's talking to them directly. Okay, and that's what's known as a landing page. So it's a web page where all the essential information about your offer lives. It's where you point your customers to using ads and links. So if you're doing the Facebook advertising, the learn more button, that call to action, it needs to go somewhere. So you're making somebody aware of you. You've got your attention. What's the next step? The next step is to take them to a web page that is going to specifically tell them and lead on from the ad that they've just seen. Or if you was borrowed traffic and hanging out in a Facebook community and you were speaking to someone, you might say, you know what, this is what I do. Learn more about this. I've got an event. It's now a link that's going to tell them specifically about your lead magnet, really, and having an opt-in so you can collect someone's details. Your website can't be that specific. Your landing page can. And your landing page needs to speak directly to the customer segment. So instantly they've identified that you are solving a pain and challenge with them. The minute you start to try and target everyone with one landing page, you've lost that connection in relationship building. So as much as the sales funnel, is very strategic, you still got to put that human to human element in it. Make sense? So the elements of an ideal landing page are attention grabbing headlines. Like, we scroll on average per day, I think it's something like coming up to 3 miles. It's just under 3 miles. That's a long time. So your headline really needs to get your audience attention. People are very visual. They love seeing the product before they buy it. So your imagery and your branding needs to be at that level of standard. Think about if you see something and it looks like it's copy and pasted, it's got like a Word document feel to it. That doesn't make you trust that this is an established business. Make sense? So image is everything, especially in this day and age. Even just having things like a privacy policy and terms and condition, they're required to be compliant with stores. And this is something that you would expect from a brand or a business that you're going to trust. So think about, look at your competition, look at the big boys, look at what they're doing. And, your content assets need to match up and marry to make your customers feel comfortable that you are someone they can trust. So the fold opt-in form, if your landing page is longer, you'll require someone to scroll down to go through the same thing. So, just making sure you've optimized the page, having 2 opt-in forms, one at the very top of the page and one at the bottom. So as the first time they might think, okay, let me discover some more about this. And they might scroll through the web page and then they'll see the opt-in again. But by this point, you've given more information for them to feel more comfortable. So make sure you've got, below the fold opt-in. Below the fold means there is an opt-in on the screen, the part of the screen that you can't see and you can scroll, and on the screen, the part of the screen that you're on, sorry. Compelling copy is key, explaining the benefit and the value they get, and using copy to show them how your offer will get them one step closer to their desired after state is really, really important. More complex offers usually need more copy. But with copywriting, it's something that I'm sorry, as a business owner, especially as a marketeer, you have to know how to do. I'm dyslexic and I hate writing. I will take doing a video all day long over having to write a blog. However, I know what good copywriting looks like because I've had to learn, because copywriting and content is the way that you're going to connect with your customer. Once upon a time, you might be in a shop or a place of business and you would be able to see your customer. If you're selling flowers or food, you've got smell, you've got taste, you've got hearing, you've got touch. You had those 5 senses. We're now online. So how for you to make the connections that we once made when we was in prison, when we're not present into one another, means that it's through copywriting. And you've got copywriting for websites and SEO keywords. And then you've got copywriting for a sales page, which is you basically building a relationship and gaining trust through that content and copy and getting someone to understand what you do. So copywriting is an essential part of marketing in this day and age. You know, even if you're doing video, having a video sales script and understanding how to, you know, put your point across in what you're saying and make sure that it's very clear and concise, but it still tells a story and it's captivating. This is all copywriting. So copywriting is a key part. Copywriting comes into everything in your funnel because you've got to create digital assets. Okay. So upsell pages. So once your customer makes a purchase, it's a great idea to immediately offer them an upsell. So on the back end of your landing pages, for people who purchase, you might present them with an upsell page. So just for an example, you might have a thank you for purchasing. So people use social media primarily for entertainment. They don't hang out on social media to be sold to. So make sure your posts are engaging. So after the thank you, it could be opting in to make sure they stay a part of your community. So many times it could be join our Facebook group, okay? Offer an upgrade to their purchase, a hint at a killer deal that will explain what that deal entails. They've already bought from you, they're open to buying, so maybe you'll upgrade their purchase. It might not be the high ticket straight away, but it might be something that is a cross sell or a slight upsell that it's just a no-brainer for you to buy it along with what you've bought already. So encourage them to upgrade and offer upsells with landing pages, but don't be pushy. If you've established through your copy the pains and challenges and what you can do to help, you don't have to be pushy, okay? And growth strategies and building out funnels are not about being pushy. People don't want to be felt sold to. Think about your experience as a consumer. You don't want to be felt like you're being sold to. So, you know, having basic access instructions, making sure when you do build your funnel pages and you're going from one step to another in a funnel, it's really making sure that literally your prospect and what becomes your customer, it's like they've got a guide to take them from one step to another to confirm that the offer's gone through. Let them know what they can expect. Give them an order number. You know, a day later, have you used it? How's it going? Like just basic access instructions, but also it's like, that's really nice. Like someone cares. And again, you're building that relationship to be able to keep selling. So, you know, bridging the gap, explain, you know, what they just got as a part of a matter, the part of a much larger whole. So tell them what's next offer will help them. So you could order like a mop system. Television TV does this really well. They'll sell you something and then they'll bridge the gap by selling you something that's it will create, you know, an even better experience of a larger problem. Okay, so bridging the gap. And again, a lot of this depends on what your product and service is. So step 8 is really creating that return path. You know, give customers a reason and means to return again and again and again. A return path is a way to increase the number of transactions for each customer. It's also a way to encourage customers to come back to your brand. Return paths just work really well when you've got really happy customers and they speak really well about you. And they also mean that not only is it a return path for them to buy again, they encourage new prospects to buy from you as well, because these are the people that are like your brand ambassadors and give you really good reviews that encourages other people to also buy from you. So the return path is anything that brings a customer or prospect back more frequently. So this could be email marketing. So remember, with your CRMs, you can segment your customers. So you can send emails out just to people that have bought. Okay, we've got exit offers, organic social media like Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn, loyalty programs. Wow, Tesco does that really well. Content marketing, outbound sales calling, ad retargeting, where you're retargeting someone that's actually bought from you to buy from you again. So the return path is like getting married. This is your relationship with your customer, but the return path is like date night. Yeah, it's about making sure that people are coming back to buy from you again and again and again. So whether that's a subscription model, whether that is a process that makes sure that you are reaching out to people through social media, through the telephone, to see how they are, do they need to buy again, or do they need something else to make what they've bought even better? Does that make any sense? The ad retargeting, so retargeting people that might have clicked on the button to your funnel page but never took it any further and opt in, you might retarget to them. So the return path is really, really key. And it's about thinking about all these stages in a very strategic manner and thinking to yourself, how do I get my prospect from one stage to another? Okay. So in a nutshell, that is creating a sales funnel. And obviously there's a lot of work that goes into that, but you can see the framework and you can see how intentional it is. So with that said, if you are in a place right now where you're unsure, or worse, you've just got no idea where to begin, you don't know what your business needs the most, and it's making you think, okay, maybe I need to go back and take some steps. If you don't understand your audience better than they know themselves, and a lot of people always say to me, what do you mean? No one. How can you know someone better than they know themselves? That's my point. You should try to get to know your customer and customer segments as much as you possibly can. So you was close to that. You really need to get to know them on a different level, and really the psychometrics of their behavior, their values, what they like, what they dislike, what do they eat, what are their hobbies, what's the things that holds them back, what's their insecurity. It's about taking a real deep dive into their psychometrics. So if you're feeling you've tried everything on your own and nothing seems to be working, you're getting a little bit frustrated, or you're struggling to sustain and boost your monthly revenue to pay yourself and pay your staff, the Ultimate Online Business Bootcamp is definitely for you. Definitely for you. It's a 3-day bootcamp. So it's cut into 3 days, so you're not having to do full days and be brain dead anymore. So the Ultimate Digital Bootcamp empowers you to really understand. Like, let's say you said to yourself, my goal is to pay off my mortgage, and you know what that figure is. Your business model should be, okay, I want to make 500K in the next 3 years. Remember SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, timely manner. Especially for when you're setting goals, remember that framework. But whatever your desires are and why it is that you're starting a business and what you want that income to do, be very clear about what your goal is. So you start building a business understanding what you want to achieve. Okay, having no plan, thought and strategy around that is a dangerous place to be, because it means you're shooting in the dark. So a guide, the bootcamp is very much a guide to identifying the right market, winning products, or the perfect offer. It's all about how to get more sales for your products or services using the 3-step profit accelerator. So really understanding, how can I get more customers? How can I increase the transaction value of each order? Okay, how can I increase the frequency? But before you do that, you do need to understand, like I said, a guide to identifying the right market, winning products, and perfect offer. So the first part of this boot camp really gives you a deep dive into customer profiling. I really get you to understand who your customer is by answering some really great psychometric questions about them, which now starts to make you think, okay, actually, if that's my customer, how I'm actually presenting the product or service to them, I can kind of see why they're not buying it, because it's not hitting their pains and challenges. It literally just hits you like a bus when I start asking you questions about what would your audience do, who does your audience follow, what do they think, what would they do in this scenario. You start to create a picture, and that is incredibly powerful. And it means that now you can align your products and service to your actual customer, which gives you clarity around everything that you do. That clarity is what your strategy, the foundation of your strategy, is built on, and it's life-changing. Then the 3-step profit accelerator starts to really get you to think, okay, commercially, how am I going to do this? And you start thinking very pragmatic, and you start thinking about, what are the tools and tactics that I need? What is it that I need to do? It gets your brain, sharpens your brain to start thinking, what's the strategy here? And thirdly, the third day is really just looking at, proven methods in building profitable sales funnels from scratch. So getting to look at really good case studies of what a funnel looks like, because you gain so much more ideas, and something gives you so much more clarity when you see it played out. And obviously, what can maybe work in the banking or insurance industry is something that might work for your business. We can take ideas from case studies and apply them to our own business, or it's just a great way for creative thinking, or to really get us to understand, okay, this is the plan. So this is like the foundation of really starting to build out your funnel. Without doing the things that I'm talking about now, it makes it very, very difficult. So within that boot camp, there's loads of stuff. There's an optimization guide. There's, you know, how to develop your brand story, a lead magnet build toolkit, an email list builder playbook, and a product launch game. So there's a lot of bonuses in there that will really help you, you know, set the foundation of really understanding who you are, who your audience is, what you sell, and making sure you've got a clear brand that connects with your audience. Without that, the foundation of what you build everything on is like building it on a house of cards. Okay. I'm so sorry if you can hear my children in the background. So the ultimate boot camp is a good place to start, and I'm just breaking down the value. Women in digital business is just known for giving away phenomenal value, and I do it because I feel like I wasn't served when I was coming up. I just bought so much online educational material for some really high prices, and I just had to keep going back to get more and more, and I didn't do it in the order, the strategic order that I've now learned. So it meant that I was doing that half-built bridges of just constantly starting things, never finishing them or starting them, and not knowing what needed to be done next, because when you know, you know. When you don't know, you don't know, unfortunately. So with that said, you know, join the boot camp. It's $27. That's on you to invest in yourself, if that makes any sense. It's a no-brainer price for a reason, because it's to get you to really expand your mind and start thinking strategically, so you can go to that next step with the right mindset and actually understanding who your audience is and what your product offering is. So you've got a QR on the phone, on the screen. You should be able to take a picture of it, and I will put this link in the chat. But it's $27, and you'll see the value that you'll get from actually participating in it and doing it. So I do right now, and not about the boot camp, just in general about the sales funnel, your business, where you're at. I would love to start opening up